priceless, Trump blindsides Kim Jong Un with devastating news after rescuing hostages. President Trump pulled out of the summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong Un in Singapore that was scheduled for June 12. He did so because of violent, aggressive, overblown rhetoric from Kim, but it's how President Trump did so that is newsworthy. He wrote a letter that he dictated word for word himself. It was released without prior notice to our allies, so it took even South Korea by surprise. Trump did not want it leaked beforehand. The letter was the perfect mix of toughness and graciousness as only President Trump can do it. Sadly, based on the tremendous anger and open hostility displayed in your most recent statement, I feel it is inappropriate, at this time, to have this long-planned meeting, Trump wrote in the letter. The letter was issued after North Korean officials called Vice President Mike Pence a political dummy and threatened to quit the summit after Pence suggested that North Korea could end up like Libya if it refused to make a deal and denuclearize the Korean peninsula. That's exactly what could happen in reality if one does not make a deal, and soon. The regime said, "I cannot suppress my surprise at such ignorant and stupid remarks gushing out from the mouth of the U.S. Vice President," adding, "We could surmise more than enough what a political dummy he is as he is trying to compare the DPRK, a nuclear weapon state, to Libya that had simply installed a few items of equipment and fiddled around with them." President Trump made it clear in his letter just how disappointed he was in the North Koreans over the waste of the wonderful dialogue that was building between the two leaders and how it was disintegrating. Trump thanked Kim for releasing the 3 American hostages as well. In other words, just like a good parent, Trump praised Kim for the good things he has done and held him accountable for the bad things he's doing as well. Kim got taken to the diplomatic woodshed. "I want to thank you for the release of the hostages who are now home with their families," Trump said. "That was a beautiful gesture and was very much appreciated. That must have shocked the heck out of the North Koreans. It was not the response they expected." President Trump went on to mock Kim's nuclear arsenal, reminding North Korea that the United States had a much greater force. A bigger red button, if you will. "You talk about your nuclear capabilities, but ours are so massive and powerful that I pray to God they will never have to be used," Trump wrote. A senior administration official linked the decision to call off the meeting to the latest threat issued by North Korean officials. Cho Sun-hui, the North Korean Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, warned overnight that Pyongyang could make the U.S. taste an appalling tragedy it has neither experienced nor even imagined. In the statement, issued through official state media, Cho said that if talks were cancelled, the U.S. and North Korea could instead engage in a nuclear-to-nuclear showdown. As of this morning, directly because of Trump's tough no-nonsense stance with North Korea, the talks are possibly back on the table for June 12. But unless North Korea is agreeable to total denuclearization and inspections to prove it, these talks may not produce much. Not for lack of trying on President Trump's part. The president said lines of communication had opened between the two countries after officials said that the North Koreans had become unresponsive, leading to the planned summit's cancellation. Pompeo and others waited in South Korea to meet with North Korea for 3 days before all of this, and they didn't show. "They also quit answering our calls. We're going to see what happens. We're talking to them now." It was a very nice statement they put out, Trump said on the South Lawn before departing in his helicopter for the U.S. Naval Academy in Maryland, where he is delivering a commencement address. "We'll see what happens. It could even be the 12th. We're talking to them now," he said. "They very much want to do it. We'd like to do it." Asked whether the North Koreans were playing games, Trump acknowledged they were and suggested he was too. "Everybody plays games. You know that," he told reporters when asked about the ongoing talks. "You know that better than anybody. And that's the blunt truth of it all." Again, I doubt the press expected his candidness here. This morning, Trump also praised North Korea's statement that its leader, Kim Jong Un, is still willing to meet Trump at any time despite the president's cancellation of an historic summit between the two leaders. "Very good news to receive the warm and productive statement from North Korea," Trump wrote Friday morning on Twitter. "We will soon see where it will lead, hopefully to long and enduring prosperity and peace. Only time, and talent, will tell." Minutes before his tweet, Trump claimed Democrats were rooting against his administration in its negotiations with North Korea. Democrats are so obviously rooting against us in our negotiations with North Korea, the president wrote on Twitter. Just like they are coming to the defense of MS-13 thugs, saying that they are individuals and must be nurtured, or asking to end your big tax cuts and raise your taxes instead. Dems have lost touch. Yes, they have. Trump is no fool and goes into these talks with his eyes wide open. What do you think will happen next?